Welcome back, everyone. This week I'm going to be installing outlets on the second floor. But before I get into that, I want to go back to working on the bathroom. I've been thinking about the problems I found in there a few weeks ago, and I just want to go back in and take off the drywall and see if there aren't any more hidden surprises for me inside those walls. Well, it looks a lot better than I thought. I was expecting to find more sections of missing insulation. Though, I did discover another piece of bad electric. This junction box was hidden behind the drywall. Now, that's bad because if there was ever a problem inside that junction box, there would be no way to access it. If they attached the box to the wall like this and cut the drywall out around it and put a cover on it, then everything would have been done right. Another thing wrong here is they stripped the outer casing off the wire to get the wires into the box. They have the wires going through these little holes here, and that's not what those holes are for. Those holes are used to stick a screwdriver into to pop out the knockout to access a larger hole so the wires with the outer casing can fit into the box. And the last thing wrong is they didn't put a cover on the box, but you can see they couldn't because the wires are going through the front instead of through the side like they're supposed to be. I want to make a correction from the last video. I said that this outlet and this junction box weren't connected to anything. Well, they are. They're connected together through this at one time hidden junction box. And the box up here I thought was a disconnected outlet was actually a disconnected switch that controlled the bathroom fan. Now that that mystery is solved, it's time to start working on the second floor outlets. Alright, currently there are 4 outlets up here. 1 in each bedroom, 1 in the bath, and that is nowhere near enough. In new construction, an outlet every 6 feet is standard, and that is exactly what I'm going to do here. Usually, they are mounted about 18 inches off the floor, but in most older homes, you'll find an outlet mounted in the baseboard. I like the look, plus it'll make the job of adding outlets a lot easier. Thanks, Caesar. You're so helpful. I'm going to take the baseboards off the walls and cut holes for the new outlet boxes. Then run the wire inside the wall about halfway up the height of the baseboard, and when I'm done, nail the baseboards back on. Alright, let's get started. The next step is to figure out where to put the outlets. I've already marked out where the original outlets were in the baseboards. So I just have to measure 6 feet away from each outlet, and that will give me the right number of outlets in each room. I'm also going to put one outlet in the hall and another one in the bath. Looks like we've gone from 4 outlets to 23. I've already marked out where the studs are on the wall. When I cut the hole for the box, I want to get it between the studs. I don't want to accidentally put it through a stud and weaken the wall. I'm just going to mark the center between the 2 points with a piece of tape. I'm using a different style workbox than I did for the light switches because outlets take a lot more abuse than light switches. Plugging and unplugging cords can really wear on these parts that hold the box in place. This box has cheap plastic parts, where the other has stronger metal and fiberglass. When I installed the light switches, you weren't able to see how this style box holds itself to the wall. By tightening the screw, a little wing swings out and pinches the baseboard between the wing and the tabs on the front. Over the next day, I got all the outlet boxes mounted inside the baseboards of the rooms, and I took off the plaster and lath behind the baseboards and drilled holes in the studs so I can get ready to run the wires. See this mark on my lip there? Yeah, I was installing the last outlet box in the back bedroom, and I guess I cut the hole just a little too small for it to fit. So when I tried pushing it in, it got stuck about halfway, so I was pushing it out so I could cut the hole a little bit larger. So as I was pushing out, it shot out, hit me right in the lip, and that really hurt, but had major swelling on it, and it hit one of my teeth on the upper row there, and that started to get a little loose, and I had some blood. Just totally gross, but oh well, I'll heal. In a few weeks, I won't even see this mark anymore. So I'm going to go find that piece of cardboard, which I drew all the outlets on, and try to figure out how to wire all these outlets together. Okay, as I said earlier, there are 23 outlets up here on the second floor. So there are 2 rules to follow when wiring up outlets. And the first rule is there can't be more than 10 outlets per circuit if you're doing a 20 amp circuit. And the other rule is you have to have 2 circuits per room. So I have 4 colored pens here, and each one's going to represent its own circuit. So let's start with the green, and the front bedroom here, the one under the stairs. So let's connect this one with this one, there and there, and let's pick up the hallway and the bathroom. So that color's done. Let's see, let's connect this one here to there and over into this room. And that looks like half of that room, so that color's done. And that one, let's go into the next bedroom. There, there, there. And then finally, just these last 3. And that'll complete 1, 2, 3, 4 circuits. And then we have this one in the bathroom. This one is special because we've got a toilet here and a sink there and a tub right there. So whenever there's an outlet which is within 3 feet of a water source, it has to be a ground fault circuit. So it's a special outlet that looks like that. It's got, let's see, put some grounds there, but we got a couple little breakers right in the middle. If there's something plugged into this and it gets in contact with the water, this little circuit breaker will pop and not cause a person to get shocked who's stuck their hairdryer or whatever in the sink. And it also has to be an isolated circuit from everything else. So this will just be off to the basement all by itself. I'm about halfway into this part of the project, and I realized that you probably don't know what I'm doing by ripping up the floor. So there was something I forgot to mention to you, excuse me, when I was drawing the wiring schematic for the outlets. So if you look over here, the green circuit goes all the way over to here to this corner, and then you probably already got it from the video. It goes down into the wall and downstairs to the basement over by the front door, and then the same thing with the red one. It goes down the same hole. But as far as the blue and the black circuit go, they have to take a different path, and that's why I am taking up a few floorboards. So these floorboards have already been taken up before by the many previous owners when they put the electricity in here in the 1930s. So they took a whole run from here all the way to the bathroom, I believe, and ran their knob and tube wiring. And I'm going to use that same wiring path to trace the new wires over to where I want them to go, over here in this corner down to the basement. So in the master bedroom here on the blue circuit, they have wires which go all the way over to here, and then they stop in the middle somewhere for the there was a light in the living room downstairs below this room, and they got rid of that one, and then they come over to here and then go off this way. So I'm going to use that same wire chase and send it over here and then go that way, and that hooks up the blue circuit. But the black one will be very similar. I'm going to have to take it off at this outlet here and then go into the same wire path all the way down to that corner again and get the black one connected that way. So that is what I'm doing by pulling up these floorboards. So if you watched episode 5, you got to see me install light switches on the second floor lighting circuit. So if you look at this outlet, you can see that it's really not much different than a light switch. It's got the screw terminals on the side, and on the back it's got these push-in wire connectors right there. I'd still recommend not using these just because I've had problems in the past of wires popping out of there. And in this situation, you cannot use them because I have run 12 gauge wire in the wall for the outlets, and you cannot fit them in there because this is a 15 amp outlet. This one is a 20 amp outlet, and you only see these things in commercial buildings and schools and things like that, only because in those buildings they usually have appliances which run on a higher current. So this one can take a maximum of 20 amps, and certain things like floor buffers and like tile cleaners and things like that, which have big motors in them, they require this type of outlet, which has a matching plug, which has this little side piece in there, so you cannot accidentally plug a higher amperage tool into a 15 amp outlet by accident and ruining it. So why don't we use these in the house? Because most home appliances don't require a full 20 amps, or at least 80% of that 20 amps. So I think our highest appliance in the house would probably draw 12 or 13 amps. That would be like a vacuum cleaner or an air conditioner. So that's why we use a lower amperage outlet in our homes. So just like the light switches, I start off with the grounds first. Just get those out of the way, just because they're you got to twist them together, and it's just kind of awkward. So we're making 2 wires into one. That looks good. Chop off the excess here. I need a little spot for that, and make a hook just as before. And this one goes on the green screw. Get that twisted around. All right. Cinch that up. So now we are left with a lighter set of screws and a darker set of screws. So how I remember it is the light goes to the white and the dark goes to the black. So I've already stripped these back to about, looks like 3/4 of an inch. And just hook that on there. Same with the other one. You can also do that with a manual screwdriver like this, but I find that the impact driver or drill works just as well. It's a little bit faster anyway. I used to have a power screwdriver, and that ran at a really low rate of rotation. And that was perfect for this. But I haven't had one of those in years. I'm not sure if they make them anymore. I don't think I've had one probably since 2000 or something like that. Okay, that is all the wires connected, so I'm just going to fold this. This is really complicated because 12 gauge wire is so much not bendable, I guess you'd say. It's really hard to work with. But It really takes the current though. Okay, that looks pretty good. Get this lined up. That's where the power screwdriver really comes into play. Really gets the outlets in quicker. All right, get the cover on there. I do not use a power screwdriver on that just because these plates are made of probably not Bakelite, but very similar. It's they're brittle and just you can go a little too much torque with one of these and just shatter them. They do make these out of nylon now. They're a little more expensive, but and those you can use with a power drill. So there it is. That was the first of 23 outlets up here, and well, it's already after 7 o'clock. I want to get all these done tonight, so I expect this is probably going to take me another hour and a half to get done. So I will see you in the morning. Good morning, everyone. Last night I got all 23 outlets installed up here, and I hooked in those 4 circuits into the breaker panel down in the basement, and everything is working great. The next thing I was going to do this morning was put the floorboards back in here in the hallway, but I realized that there's more wire going through here than I thought. It wasn't just the wire that went to the 4 outlets and the lights on the second floor, but also I found wiring that went to all of the first floor lights. So before I cover everything back up, I think I should just cut out all the old wiring and then run new for the downstairs lights. Then I can put everything back together and finally move on to another project. Of all the circuits in the house, this is going to be the easiest one to run. It only has 3 lights and 3 switches on it. I've already run a line up from the basement up in the corner where all the other lines come up from, and I threaded it through the floor joist where the old wiring was at, and this is the line from the basement, and then this is other line I threaded down the hallway to the end just for now, but this is going to pick up in the dining room light, which is the second light of the circuit. The first one is the one in the front entry hall. So I'm just going to put both of these wires together and tape them up so they don't get lost on the floor when I push them through, and they'll just pop up at the next place I pulled up a floorboard at. These 2 wires get cut apart and they go into the box. That's the power in, power out to the next room. Now I still need a light switch wire, and that starts all the way over here at this hole in the floor. So what we got are the old wiring which go into the wall downstairs to the light switch. So I'm going to cut one of these wires off like that, and I want to trim off some of this outer casing like that. Then I want to strip back the wire here, so I got that bare, and I got my new wire here. I want to cut this back. So all I want is the bare ground wire, and I can trim off the rest. At this point, my microphone decided to cut out. So what I'm doing here is I'm twisting the old wire onto the new wire, and now I'm wrapping both wires together with black electrical tape, because what I'm about to do is go downstairs and where the light switch is and pull the old wire down through the wall, pulling the new white wire along with it. But now there's another problem, because I just tried pulling the wire from downstairs and it's not moving at all. So what happened here is there are 4 wires. I did not know that. 2 of them are the old power wires, and then the other 2 over here are the ones that go to the light switch. So I had a 50-50 chance of which ones there were, and I picked the wrong one. So we're going to start all over again. Okay, now I think I'm connected to the right wires, so let me go downstairs and we'll try this again. Oh, it's stuck. What a surprise. I'll be back. This is definitely a 2-person job. All right, there it is, finally. I just threaded the other end of that wire through the holes of the old wire, and it's popped out right over here. And I'm just gonna go push that into the box. All right, that's done. Let's move on. Down the hall to the other end. Continue on to the next light. Next, I'm going to get the wire at the end of the hall, run all the way over to here, and I'm going to do that using my fish tape. Normally, I just push the wire along onto the floor, but since I'm using 14-2, it's a whole lot less stiff than the wire of the fish tape, and I'm afraid it would catch on just about everything between the hallway and right here. So using the fish tape, which is much more slender than the wire, it has a much better chance of not catching on anything under the floor. It's the same procedure as hooking onto the old wire. Just twist it, wrap it in tape, and pull it. I just threaded the new wire through the holes of the old wiring and put it into this new box I just installed, and then I sent over the fish tape from the other room and connected it to some new wire, which is going to go between the box in the dining room and the new box in the kitchen. This is the last light on the circuit, which means that the only other wire which is going to go into this box is the one for the light switch downstairs. So the next thing I'm going to do is twist on some new wire to this old one and pull it out into the hallway where the next connection point is. I got the wire wrapped and taped onto the old wire to the kitchen light switch, and then I brought a new wire over from the dining room and had that wrapped and taped onto the old wire to the switch in that room. But as I was doing this, I was thinking, I'm not 100% sure that these two go to the light switch in the kitchen and these two go to the light switch in the dining room, meaning that knowing my luck, I probably got the 2 reversed. So when I get this all done, I'd find out that the light switch in the kitchen is in the dining room and the light switch in the dining room is in the kitchen. So to prevent me from doing that, I'm going to put a small piece of tape on the kitchen light switch wire. And that way I will know for sure that when I pull these wires down into the kitchen, this one goes to the kitchen light switch. I had screwed the box from the wall because I was afraid I wouldn't be able to get the wire through these holes when I pulled it down from upstairs. So let's see what's in here. Oh, what a mess. Oh, there's a ton of wire in here. Okay, we got to start pulling stuff and see what happens. Okay, that one goes to the dining room light. That's an upstairs one. That's an upstairs one. That is a dining room light, also to the upstairs. And this guy, that's the other upstairs. Okay, so there's couple to go downstairs. I wonder where those off to. Huh. Maybe those go to the lights in the basement. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. I'm not connecting to them anyway. I'm going to pull all these down and hope I get the new wire attached to it. Okay, there's one. And there's the other one. Okay, remember this one? It's kitchen light. Chop these off. And this one goes into the box in the dining room, and then this one comes out into here. As you saw, the box I pulled off was a double gang box. So there's a light switch here for the kitchen, and on this side was an outlet, but I'm not putting the outlet back in. What I'm going to do is keep the light switch over here and put another switch over on this side, because right around the corner is, well, there's a door to the basement right now, but that's going to go away, and the washer and dryer are going to go next to that. And there's going to be some cabinets attached to the wall about here. And right below that, I'm going to have a light right underneath the cabinets, which will shine on the washer and dryer. So in case someone needs some illumination over there for folding clothes, they'll have it. Another thing over here, you can see there's this real big bulge in the wall. This is held together with contact paper. So I'm gonna have to, what a mess. So I'm gonna have to get in here and fix this all up anyway. So while I'm doing that, when I get to the point when I'm working on the kitchen, I will just cut into the wall and run some new wires over to that light over for the washer and dryer. I just finished hooking up the wires together in the junction box for the light in the kitchen. And that bulb hanging down is not the permanent fixture. It's just one of those things for testing purposes. I haven't figured out which light I want to put in here yet, but I'm sure I'll find something soon. I got the switch connected, and that's ready to go. Over here in the dining room, I got that switch hooked up, and on the ceiling, I got those wires connected, and the same goofy bulb situation is hanging down there, but I do have the light for this room, but you can see that there's a lot of missing plaster around that junction box. So I want to fix that first and get everything painted in here before I put the chandelier in this room. Over here in the front entry hall, I got these two switches installed. This one's the one that goes to the light in the room, and this one goes out to the porch light. The reason you didn't see me doing any wiring on this one is because it's brand new, really. I want to say it was done about 15 years ago. So I checked out the wiring on both ends, on the light and in the basement, and it's fine. Everything's good there. And over here on the ceiling light, I've got the wires hooked up over there with the same dangly bulb. I do have the light fixture for this room, but as you can see, it's the same situation, but not as bad as the dining room. I am missing some plaster around that box, so I'm going to wait till I finish plastering and painting in this room before I get the permanent light fixture installed in here. So the last thing to do is to go to the basement and hook up this circuit. If you are into extreme sports and you like skydiving or crocodile bungee jumping, yes, that is a real thing, then wiring up a live electrical panel is your next big adventure. But if you're like me and you want to live to see tomorrow, then just shut off the main breaker. It's way too easy to accidentally touch one of these two main bus bars and seriously hurt yourself. This is the wire for the first floor lighting circuit, and when I went to school, I was told to measure down to the bottom of the box and up halfway, and that would be the amount of wire you need for each circuit. I think that is just too much excess, so now I just take it to the bottom of the box and cut it off there. When I strip the outer casing down, I go maybe a third of the way down and pull the rest of the wire out. It's a lot easier than going all the way down to the end. I just cut off the excess. We're going to start with the ground wire, and it could either go on the bus bar on the right or the one on the left. It really doesn't matter because of this green screw right here, which means that this bus bar is connected through the metal case over to this side. So really this bus bar and this bus bar are interchangeable as far as neutral or ground. And it makes it a lot easier for if you're hooking up to a circuit breaker on this side, because you can just put your white and your ground right next to each other on the closest bus bar that's convenient for you. And then strip the casing off the white wire and goes into the same bus bar. Then strip the casing off the black wire, and then it goes right into the breaker. Okay, straighten up this wire a little bit. Okay, and then turn the main breaker on and the one for the circuit, and let's go upstairs and see if everything works. The front hall light works, the porch light works, dining room light works, and the kitchen light works. Well, that's it for now. 2/3 of this house is now rewired. So I know this episode took a little longer than usual, almost twice as long as my usual videos, but I really wanted to get the wiring done on the second floor so I could start the next project, which is the bathroom. So if you like this episode, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe, and if you want to leave a comment down below, please do so. Caesar and I will see you next time. Before I get into that, why can't I say that right? Why can't I do that? Currently there are, sorry, it's hard to talk when I'm being stared at by a dog. Hi Cedar, come back. Hello, can you see me through the dog? Hi. You're gonna be helpful today. I got your fur in my mouth. That was the first of 23 outlets up here. So I'll probably be around for another hour to hour and a half. Currently, there are 4 outlets in here. Right, Caesar? Usually, an outlet is spaced. Move your face, please. All right. You're laying in a hole. You know that? You're laying in a hole. Well, hello. Thank you for partially joining in the camera.